I'd like to call the March meeting to order. Please rise to salute the flag and stay standing for a moment of silence.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to have this moment of silence in memory of John Palazzo and John Falone, who passed away from the town. I'd also like to read into the record from Councilman DeStefanis. I do apologize for my absence this evening from the special meeting and the regular scheduled monthly meeting. I am required to travel for work and will review the record and video upon my return. Raymond DeStefanis. And I also spoke with Councilwoman Brady this morning. She is very sick, and she will not be here either. Item number 1, acceptance of meeting minutes. Minutes from meetings of January 21st, February 3rd, and February 18th, 2015 to be accepted and approved by the Town Council. Do I have a motion to accept?
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been made by Councilwoman Catanzaro, second by Councilman Warren. All those in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Item number 2, vendor license. Town Council to consider the approval of a vendor license for Amy Hodge, DBA, BJ Allen Company / Phantom Fireworks to sell at 1920 Middle Spring Avenue. Do I have a representative? Please just state your name for the record.
Amy Hodge.
Thank you. We've dealt with this place every year. Does anybody have any questions?
Mr. President,
Go ahead.
is this indoor?
Outdoor. 10.
Outdoor. So when is the time frame that you need it for?
The sale dates are June 25th to July 5th.
Yeah, it's on the app. It is on the app.
And what are the hours?
9 a.m. to 10 p.m.
10 p.m.?
Yeah, or it might be 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. Had that backwards.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? I have a motion to grant, considering all necessary requirements.
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been made by Councilwoman Catanzaro, seconded by Councilman Faiola. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Ayes have it. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 3, victualling license. Town Council will consider the approval of a victualling license from Roberto Richie, DBA, the Chow Street Dyna, 1029 Chow Street. Just please state your name for the record.
Roberto Richie.
How you doing?
How are you?
Good. Does anybody have any questions for Ms. Ritchie?
I think the hours are 1 to 4 at night.
Yes.
You know, we don't grant those hours.
I'm sorry.
That's the
That's
next.
the next one.
That's the next one, I'm sorry.
The extended hours, this is just,
Oh, I'm sorry.
this is
I thought we were on the extended hours.
I'm very Rhode Island. What is this next to it, 1029 Charles
It
Street?
used to be Maisie's on Charles Street.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it's where the Macy's is.
So I'd like to entertain a motion to grant pending all necessary requirements.
Second.
Motion's been made by Councilman Warren, seconded by Councilwoman Catanzaro. All those in favor?
Aye.
Item number 4, extended hours license. Town Council to consider the approval of an extended hours license from Roberto Richie, DBA, the Chow Street Dyna, 1029 Chow Street. This was
1 to 4. Yeah, but those are grandfathered in.
Does anybody have any questions?
The extended licenses, so that means you'd be open from 6 a.m. in the morning till 4?
the extended would be from 1 to 4, yes, because their license for victualling ends at 1, and extended goes from 1 to 4.
So your hours of operation would be from 6 a.m. in the morning until 4?
I'm probably going to do 6 in the morning till 2 in the afternoon, close, and then open probably just on weekends and like if there's holidays from 1 to 4 a.m.
Okay, so 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. Monday
through Sunday.
Monday through Sunday?
Yes, 7 days.
And then,
Okay, so it would be Monday through Thursday, and then you're asking extended for what days?
Friday, Saturday, and for any holidays that fall through the week.
So Monday through Thursday.
It's 6 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Yeah.
2 p.m., yes.
And then
6 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, plus the 1 to 4.
Yes,
Except if the holiday falls on a Wednesday,
yes,
you want it then too.
yes.
My thing is, we've denied all extended hours in the town to most of the restaurants and even to gyms and stuff like that.
I don't
I
oppose.
think we'll be setting a precedent.
I don't oppose this because I think at some point we need to start, thinking out of the box and extending hours for these places so we can be competitive with diners in Providence. But it's not my district, so I don't want to take, precedent on it. But that's just my opinion.
Is it just the Dyna serves food? I mean, there's no entertainment?
No entertainment, just food, unless you consider a TV. There's a TV in there.
Any other questions?
I have to agree with the president. I think we have to start looking at some alternative ways to help the businesses here in town, and I would be in favor of extended hours.
I would also, because your place has to be in contention with places like Denny's, right across the line in Johnston.
Right.
Okay, so do I have a motion to grant the extended hours?
So move. Second.
Motion's been made by Councilman Warren, seconded by Councilwoman Catanzaro. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed?
Hey,
The ayes have it. One opposed. Item number 5,
Thank you.
private detective license
you.
renewal. Town council will consider the approval of a renewal of a private detective license from David Lucia of 6 Sorrel Road, North Providence, Rhode Island.
Good evening,
How you
Council. My name is David Lucia. I'm looking to renew my license as a private detective. There's no problem.
Okay, Mr. Lucia comes before us every year.
Yeah.
Paperwork's in order, so I'll make a motion to grant.
So
second.
Motion's been made by Councilman Warren, seconded by Councilman Juicy. All those in favor? Aye. The ayes have it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
good luck.
Item number 6, Town Council will consider approval of a new private detective license from Robert H. Morris, Jr. of 54 Campbell Ave, North Providence, Rhode Island. How you doing? Just state your name for the record.
Robert H. Morris, Jr.
Okay. Anybody have any questions for Mr. Morris?
Looks good to me.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion to grant, pending all necessary requirements.
So moved.
So I have a second. Motion's been made by Councilwoman Catanzaro, seconded by Councilman Giusti. All those in favor?
Aye.
Good luck with everything.
Thank you very much.
Number 7, liquor license held by Talento's Restaurant. Joseph Schifano, owner of the property located at 1460 Mineral Spring Avenue, requested appear before the town council to discuss the liquor license held by Talento's Restaurant associated with that location. How you doing?
Good evening. I guess this is probably...
Just state your name for the record.
Joseph Schifano.
Thank you.
This is probably like a different request. I don't know if you ever had one like this before, but my tenant at 1460 Mineral Spring Avenue has moved out. I have a bunch of copies for each member I'd like to... Anyway, as you'll see by the first page of the documents that I've provided, Mr. Talento's attorney on December 22nd states that he vacated the premises and is now closed for business. And what ended up happening was he closed on December 22nd. I was away. And once I returned, I had to move to gain access to the property. I ended up moving with an eviction that on page 3 you'll see, I think I was granted maybe on, I think it was January 20th, 2015. And on the last page, I have the Rhode Island license regarding revocation and abandonment of Class A licenses, which you may or may not be familiar with. But in any event, the reason is that once he has a license, that license is tied to my property. I have a couple of tenants that I'm negotiating with currently to lease the property, and if they came in today, that license is now tied with the property. So he would not be able to get his own license, hence he wouldn't rent the location. It's imperative that a liquor license is granted for that location with a full bar. And as you can see by the law, the revocation of a license states that the license holder has 90 days from abandonment of a property to hold the license, and then after that, it can be, I guess, revoked by the town council. So I'm asking the council to revoke the license at the 90-day period for Talento's restaurant, or actually remove it from my location. Whatever the town decides to do with the license with that gentleman is, their business. But again, at the 90-day point, based on his letter on the 22nd, yesterday was 70 days. Today's the 71st day. So there's about 19 more days. By the next council meeting, he'll be well over the 90 days, and I'd request that it would either be removed from my location or revoked, which in essence would remove it from my location, and my new tenant would be able to come in here and apply for his own license.
Does anybody have any questions for Mr. Ishifano?
Keep in mind, I don't disagree with Mr. Ishifano that you might be able to issue a summons to revoke, but the statute he's talking about is a Class A license, it's a Class B. So it's a different, I don't think the 90-day applies, but I will verify, I do evictions like he's done, and he appears, even though that the attorney did threaten Mr. Ishifano with a bankruptcy proceeding, it appears that a month later, Mr. Ishifano got a judgment for possession from the district court and from Judge Avalos on top of this, which is a very reputable judge who hears all the facts. So I would say that based on the judgment, I think you people could issue a summons to have him in for lack of a location, and then you can revoke on that. I would suggest that maybe the clerk also, just as a cover, just to copy the attorney on it as well.
So I'd like to entertain a motion to deliver a summons to Talento's Family Restaurant, LLC, DBA Talento's Ice House, to prepare for the next month's council meeting. Motion's been made by Councilman Juicy, seconded by Councilman Warren. All those in favor?
Aye.
The ayes have it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 8, property located at 184 Woonasquatucket Ave. Robert Torino, owner of property located at 184 Woonasquatucket Avenue, requests to appear before the town council concerning a tax stabilization on that property. Please state your name for the record.
Bob Torino, Robert Torino.
I would like to just state first that Mr. Torino and I met a week ago when he kind of explained this project to me, which I told him to come here tonight and explain to the rest of you, and I think it's a really good idea for this town. So I look forward to his presentation.
Well, my partner and I, Joe Santoro, bought this building in 1986. And we did quite well with it, even though it was very costly to improve and everything. And as I said in my report, the tenants were basically jewelry related. And as we all know, manufacturing in the state, around the country, kind of disappeared. So we determined that the best use for the building. In 2009, someone came to us and offered to buy the building, which we agreed to do. We sell the building. We sold a purchase and sale agreement, and those two individuals weren't able to go forward with the project. And as I said in my report, one of the individuals, Vin Coakley, went down to the tenants and said, well, we're buying the building, so you should move out. Basically, they all called me, and I said, this is going to take a couple of years to do. There's no reason to move out. But when people hear that, they're in a hurry to move to someplace else. So within about 6 months, the building was basically empty with the exception of one tenant. He was a good-sized tenant, which was good, but the bad part about it is, with the heating system, you gotta heat the whole building. We use about 40,000 gallons of oil a year to heat that building, and it causes tremendous loss. So we decided, now we're stuck with this building with no tenants, we decided that we have to do something with it. We can abandon it, or we can try and develop it. So we decided to develop it. We applied for tax credits for the state, which we did receive, historical tax credits. We would apply for historical tax credits from the federal government, which we did receive. So now we have the tax credits, and there's so many hurdles with this kind of situation that I had no idea. At any rate, we have lost, as I said, tremendous amounts of money. Something that at my stage of the game is not the wisest thing to do. My wife wants to shoot me. At any rate, for the last 2 years, people have been breaking into the building. The building today is a disgrace. You'll see dead animals in there. They have taken out every piece of copper, all plumbing, everything. It is a carcass, as I said. And if it doesn't go forward, it's going to go into disrepair, and obviously it's going to have to be torn down. By the way, I did get recent quotes to tear it down, and it's $960,000 by one person and $1,200,000 to tear it down by the second person. So we're stuck in a situation. I think it's a great thing for the town. It's going to be really something that I would live in myself. Be a nice place. We have plenty of land. It's unlike most of these mills. Most of these mills are built in bad neighborhoods or business neighborhoods. This is right next to the pond. It's in a residential neighborhood. It's really surrounded by the water and a big fence. So whatever happens there happens really in an isolated scenario. So it'll be tennis courts. It'll be really a nice thing. As far as the income to the town, obviously, we're looking for a tax abatement situation. Quite frankly, without it, we can't go forward. The financing for this is very difficult. It's the most difficult thing I ever got involved with. The first loan is $12.2 million, of which, at this age, I'm 69 years old, to sign personally on a note this big is a big risk for me. So
Would you just repeat that, the 12 million to?
$12,200,000 is the mortgage. Actually, it'd be more than that for this property. The bank, which is Rockland, requires that in order for this project to be healthy, it has to have some support. These are things done in other cities. This is something that's essential to us. This is not a deal where, oh, I'm going to become so rich here. It's not that kind of a deal. This is like salvation for me, and I think it's a great thing for the town. I was born in North Providence. I lived in North Providence. My parents, many of you know, they were very, very strong with the town. My mother, dying of cancer, there's a church over here, whatever. She was on a beautification committee. She was planting flowers when she had cancer. This is a town that I love, I grew up with, and I think it's a great thing for everybody concerned. The income to the town is, first of all, more than 250 parking spaces, which I think there's 240, which I think the council agreed a couple of years ago to allow to slide there. We should estimate, and I put that out, that should be $127,000 in automobile revenue tax. And then there's impact. It's another $100,000 to the town for impact fees, because I think it's $1,000 per unit. So it's kind of a windfall for the town, I think, and it's a salvation for me, quite frankly. I can't go forward unless I have this kind of an agreement, and basically I'm looking for your help, basically.
Yes, Mr. President.
Go ahead, Councilman.
Is this the old Sullivan property?
It was O'Sullivan. The O'Sullivan and the guy Vin Coakley are the people that approached us to buy the building. Obviously, you all know, they got a problem on another scenario
Right.
that has nothing to do with
But
us.
that, no, but I'm saying that's the building, right?
Yeah, the one down on Onascatucket Avenue, yes.
What about, if I remember correctly, in that building, when they came before us, there was some historical, problems there.
We've been approved by the Rhode Island Historical Scenario. And by the way, to build it to that, you have to have certain color windows, certain size windows. It's quite a thing.
Yeah.
And by the way, as I said, this is, sometimes government is your best friend and sometimes it's your enemy. In this particular case, the state required us to pay 15% of the $2.5 million tax credit, non-refundable. $375,000 we had to put in, that's not included in this. So it's a scenario that is, I wish I never got involved in it. I really do. I wish I never got involved with it.
The other thing was, there was something about a bridge that was going between buildings or something. I'm going back now.
We initially applied, or they initially applied, for 200 units. They wanted to put a new building, this is that, for another 100 units. That is not anything we would ever do.
Okay.
The way it is now, that's the way we want to do it. So some of it will have to be, some of the building will have to be torn down, some of the newer additions, and it returned to its original spot in 1886.
Okay.
Yeah.
And plus, now you're gonna have 200 units. How many of those will be low income?
None. It's going to be, our building will be 100. 100 units. We are not, the best deal for these deals is to apply for low income. It's a financial windfall. I was born and brought up in this town. I used to hang around in that place. I didn't want to do that. A lot of the neighbors called me and said, is this a low income place? I said, absolutely not.
Okay.
I said, absolutely not. We are not looking for any tax breaks or tax credits for low income, retirement income, or anything like that. This is, they call it, I think, workforce tenants. So it's people like the firemen, or somebody who's got a job, a teacher. It's right near Rhode Island College. It's very attractive. I spoke to them for the teachers.
Blue collar.
Blue collar, yes it is. By the way, I would live in it too. I have no problem with living in it. It'd be beautiful when it's done. The kitchens will have, you know, it's funny, what differentiates a place between low income, medium income, and luxury is the bathrooms and kitchens. If you put a nice bathroom and a nice kitchen and a nice walk-in closet, because all women like walk-in closets, then you got a nice place. And that's what we will basically have. It's going to be a beautiful place. Any of you would have no problem living in there. And it's not a kid-friendly place, by the way. And there's no basketball courts or anything like that. It's not that. It's really designed for a middle-class, solid middle-class family. So,
When I met with Mr. Tadino, those were the two concerns I had was, well, first of all, let me state that I like the project because representing District 3, that area is really could use some development and sprucing up, to say the least. I also was concerned about the low-income aspect of it, and he assured me that it wouldn't be. And thirdly, the enrollment with kids being in the schools, we can't really afford. So did you say that half of them, I think, are one-bedrooms?
half a one-bedroom and half of them are two-bedrooms. And by the way, the reason why, I wish they were all one-bedrooms. The reason why is one part of the building is wide. So you have to build units of a certain size. So it would be, let me see, a one-bedroom unit would have to be even bigger than this for it to make any sense. And that's not a practical thing. So
I
it's
think that'll be hard to control anyway. I mean, to say
kids.
a two-bedroom, it's, yeah.
Yeah, no, I think the Greystone building, I think has, someone had, I don't know, there's
Yeah.
maybe 7 children in the whole building. And that's 1.5 times the size of ours, projected to be.
Now, these are condos, right? Condos.
No, right now you have to do rentals. You have the option after 5 years, if you wanted to convert them to condos, you can do that. But that's a matter of choice. They're all built independently so that in the event that you do condo minimize, you can do it. But right now, we want to get it built because we're tired of losing money. This is a huge amount of money to lose, and especially at the age I'm at, it's not a good thing. I don't care at any age, it's not a good thing. It'd be a great thing for the town. I don't know if there's any other big projects possible for the town. I mean, I think we're pretty full here.
Do you know if this falls under the guidelines of affordable housing? I've gone to many planning board meetings, and it always seems that any construction in some way, they're always asking if we're considering affordable housing. Are these units, does it fall under those guidelines to be affordable housing? Because every community has to have a certain percentage.
Right.
So I know that they're going to ask that question, but they've been discussing it with me to make sure that,
This is my understanding of it because I went to a town planning meeting, and that issue came up.
okay.
And the issue was, or at least my understanding was, the town has to have so many
Right.
in the town, but they don't necessarily have to be in a particular building. I may be wrong, but that's my understanding of that meeting. So, under the conversation of that meeting, it said, well, if we have to have a few there, we'll force them, we'll do it. But at the time, they didn't think that there was a need to have them in that particular building. That's a few years ago. Things may have changed, I don't know.
It's just that it's 200 units, I would think.
100 units.
100? I would think that some of them may have to be, but it's just a question because I've heard it so many times in the planning board, and having so many units, I'm just wondering if...
Yeah, again,
would
it
be-
is only 100. It was initially planned for 200
Right.
by these other people, but I have nothing to do with that. All I want to do is salvation, get a piece of property that is a viable, historic piece of property. The reality of it, the reality is this. We have a mortgage on it for $420,000. The reality is, if I can't go forward with this, I have to walk away from it. I have to pay the $420,000, and I have to abandon it, which means ultimately it's going to go through something that doesn't make any sense for the town. This is an opportunity to become a real moneymaker. It draws kind of the quality people you want to live in the town, and it's like motherhood. How can anybody be against it? You know what I mean? It just makes so much sense
What was the 12 million for?
to build it.
The development.
Okay. The 400 is an existing mortgage.
Yeah, I have a mortgage on it for 400-something thousand.
Mr. President, I would make a motion to send this to finance.
Well, I'd like to see three things happen. One, send it to the Finance Committee to analyze the numbers. Two, send it to the Economic Development Committee, because the reason why Mr. Taddino approached me was because he read about the deal you and I did for Fatima. So if we could possibly maybe work something around that, saying you're in favor. This is, look at it. And three, send it to the Ordinance Committee, because eventually this will have to be an ordinance. So I'd like to entertain a motion to send it to those three committees and have them meet within the next 2 weeks to kind of map all this out.
So moved.
Have a second?
Second.
Motion's been made by Councilwoman Catanzaro, seconded by Councilman Fiola. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, we'll be in touch.
Thank you. And
Thank
drive
you.
slowly. It's not that good outside.
What do you mean?
It's snowing.
It's what?
It's in all the papers.
I don't like that four-letter word anymore. That's terrible. Snow. Is it?
Yeah, it was snow before it started.
Yeah. Item number 9, Plymouth Road. President Audiello requests discussion and possible vote concerning putting up a yield sign at the top of Plymouth Road and a stop sign at the intersection of Plymouth Road and Don Avenue. I received a call from a constituent concerning the school buses going to Stephen Only School, the way they come down that hill and then make the left to go to the school. They come pretty fast, and a neighbor had a car slide into the snowbank in front of their house. So I'm going to make a motion to send a letter to the police department to go out there and see if we could put a stop sign up at the intersection of Plymouth and Don.
So moved.
I have a second?
Second.
Motion's been made by Councilman Catanzaro, seconded by Councilman Warren. All those in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Item number 10, financial statements. President Odell requests discussion on the council request for monthly financial statements. The last 6 months is included with this agenda package. I met with the administration, and they're going to give us the financial statements that we requested as a summary of the last 6 months and a month-by-month financial statement going forward. As you know, I had a family emergency over the weekend, so I was away for the last week and a half or so I was unable to get the financial statements, but we will have them going forward.
Thank you.
Item number 11, car tax relief. Councilwoman Catanzaro requests discussion and vote for car tax relief in the 2015-2016 budget.
Thank
Councilwoman?
you. Thank you, Mr. President. I have compiled copious amounts of documentation on giving some car tax relief to our residents here in North Providence. This council, the majority of the council, were originally proponents of utilizing the depreciation schedule. We had sent a resolution back supporting using the depreciation schedule. I've testified every year at the Vehicle Value Commission, along with testifying in committees for the depreciation schedule to be used. In everyone's packet, they've received the information that we requested several months ago for a depreciation schedule to be used along with the $500 that we currently offer now. What I wanted to do, instead of going over all the information that I have here tonight, which I think is very important, the budget's going to be presented to us in April. I would like to give some sort of car tax relief. It's the value that we really need to work on. And the information that I have here, I'd like to present it to the Finance Committee for their review and for the council to make a decision for us to use the depreciation schedule in this upcoming year's budget. So I'd like to make a motion to refer this particular item to the Finance Committee for their discussion, review, and vote back to the council.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
And the motion to refer to the
I have a motion to
Yep,
refer.
second.
Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
Thank you.
Okay. Item number 13, expenditures made over $5,000. Councilwoman Catanzaro requests discussion and vote on purchases, vendors, and all expenditures made over $5,000 from July 1st, 2014 through February 28th, 2015. Councilwoman Catanzaro.
Thank you, Councilman Giusti. We're going to skip 12 and just go to 13. Is that what you want to do?
Huh?
You skipped 12.
I'll do, okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. We'll do 13 and we'll go back. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I thought we done.
We had asked back in December 3rd, I had put an item on the agenda, and the council voted unanimously to send a letter. The letter says, "Dear Mr. Cambio, at a meeting of North Providence Town Council held on December 2nd, it was voted unanimously to request for the past 6 months of the fiscal year that any purchases, services, vendor, etc. over $5,000 get sent to the council and the audit committee, and would like a printout on the Munis system, not on a spreadsheet. Thank you for your cooperation." That was sent back in December 3rd, 2014. We haven't received any information. I would think it's a reasonable amount of time. We were asked to send all of our requests through the administration for us to get any information, and we haven't received anything. So I wanted to send a second correspondence clarifying that it's a vendor history report that we're looking for. I did verify this with our town auditor. Mr. Cambio mentioned to our clerk, he didn't know what printout that we requested. So if it needs a clarification, he mentioned that just this past week. So, but this request was sent in December. So after speaking with Robert Savetti, it's a vendor history report that is done through the Munis system. So I'd like to send a second request clarifying and ask that we receive that within 10 days. So I'd like to make that motion to send that second request.
Motion's been made. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion's made. Councilman, before I take the vote, I just want, as you know, I met with the administration about a lot of these outstanding requests. And when it came to this one, I was told that they can't give us the Munis system report. And then you said that you did get it before in the past?
Yes, I did get it from Tom Massaro and Walter Edge when we requested the information, and it was, I couldn't remember the name of it, that's why I had put down here vendors, but it's called a vendor history report. And the reason why it's in the Munis system is because that's the system that we use. They would put a date into the system, and it would be a filter. So they would just put the date from when we requested, July 1st, 2014, which Councilman Giusti had asked me, you know, if we're just going back to the beginning of this fiscal year, and we said yes. That's why we voted on that, just to go back to the beginning of this fiscal year. And it would be easy for them. It's literally pressing a button. The Munis system is just what we use. It's budget versus actual. That's what it's called. Instead of having to recreate the wheel and do a spreadsheet, it's easy to do it right through the Munis system, so you can see the actual purchases that were made, what vendor purchases were made. So that's why I called Bob Savetti and asked him the actual name of the report that we were looking for.
Okay. All right, motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Ayes have it.
Thank you.
Number 12, commercial property taxes and commercial vacancies. Councilwoman Catanzaro requests discussion and vote to review all commercial property taxes and commercial vacancies in the Economic Development Committee.
Thank you, Mr. President. As we just had a gentleman here before us who's looking for some tax relief, what I wanted to do to try and be more business friendly to help people come into some of the vacant properties is to assess the actual commercial properties that we have, be able to obtain a report, and then we can find out what vacant properties we have. By doing that, we can do a historical evaluation, what types of businesses were in those properties. Possibly we can put these on our website under a business section, so when people are looking to come to North Providence for their businesses, it shows a whole list of properties that are available. Currently, right now on our website, we advertise for the hospital that we just did charter care, employment opportunities. So if we're advertising for employment opportunities, why can't we advertise and help out commercial property owners for vacancies, and to see if we can get new businesses here in town? So what that requires is the report that we can obtain from the tax assessor's office through the mayor's office. So I'd like to entertain a motion to request that commercial property list and forward that to Economic Development Committee for their review and a vote back to the council.
A motion's been made by Councilwoman Catanzaro. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Warren. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? The ayes have it.
Thank you.
Item number 14, communications sent from Town Council. Councilwoman Catanzaro requests discussion and vote on timely responses on communications sent by the Town Council. Councilwoman?
Thank you, Mr. President. I'll just state once again, we requested information in December on the 3rd. What's a timely response? So I'll ask, should we be waiting 3 months to get information that the council votes on and requests? You know, the lines of communication, they're asking us to request the information, and it's been 90 days and we haven't received it. So I don't know how to bridge that gap.
Anybody else like to comment?
I mean, is it something that we have to request as public records requests, or do we just keep sending it and hoping that we get the information that we vote on?
Well, I mean, so far, I think I've had luck getting the information so far going, I mean, and I hope to just build off that. So, I mean, I'm gonna look into this vendor history report. You know, I really didn't understand it at first. You know, I'm still trying to get my feet wet. But I will look into that for you. And hopefully we can just build off that.
Fair enough. Thank you.
You're welcome. Item number 15, bid for audit contract. Town clerk requests permission to go out to bid for the audit contract for FY ending 2015, 2016, and 2017. You all have a copy of the bid specs, so I'd like to entertain a motion to give the clerk permission to go out to bid.
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been made by Councilman Giusti, seconded by Councilman Fiola. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Ayes have it. Item number 16, Finance Committee Report. Town Council discussion and action with regard to the Finance Committee Report to be presented by Councilman DeStefanis. You have that, right? Okay. I'd like to entertain a motion to accept the report as presented. Motion's been made by Councilman Giusti, seconded by Councilman Warren. All those in favor?
Councilman Audiello, I have President Audiello, I have a
Yep.
question. Is it possible on the Finance Committee report that we just ask the chairman to send the backup information? The clerk gave it to me today. We used to get it, just so we know, instead of just having it an amount and a name. It comes through on the under abatements, but not the overs. So it would just be the backup for the overs, just like the under 1,000s do, just so we know what we're approving.
Do you mean the long sheets, or do you mean those back
What?
sheets?
Yeah, the ones that you gave me today.
I think I only used to give it to the committee before, but this Jerry only makes 4 copies, so it's only always going to the committee.
This is for over 1,000?
Yeah.
Right.
All right.
Because when it comes to the council to approve it, we don't know exactly what we're approving. There's not even an address on there. So for some reason, if someone has a conflict on the council, they wouldn't even know because there's nothing attached to it. I mean, I always used to see it because I was at the meetings, but we used to get it as a backup when we approved it.
The whole
over
council?
1,000.
Just the committee.
Well, I put it this way, I was assuming we got it because I always saw it.
You got it. because
Shouldn't
you
we,
were present.
Right.
shouldn't we just take the finance report, which would list whatever they approved and what they didn't approve?
Right, and what I'm saying is, when I saw it today, I wouldn't know, or anybody on the council, if someone had a conflict, it just said a name and an amount. Well, if it happened to be a property owner that, let's just say, there was a business relationship with someone on the council, there's not even an address, there's nothing to say what we're approving. It just said a
Well,
name and an amount.
We can request the finance chairman to, when he puts his report, put the name, address, and the amount on his report to us.
Right.
Why we gotta go through all these spreadsheets?
Well, it's just something that they could get scanned in. I
I don't have a problem with it, and I understand where you're coming from, so that's
just
fine.
want to know what we're approving, that's all.
He explained it. It's all right.
Okay, so what are we gonna do then? Ask for backup for everyone?
No, whatever you send to the
Just the
committee,
whole council.
give to the council in your package.
Just because
What she's
they're
asking.
voting on it.
Whatever you get from Jerry,
Okay, let me explain to you though. I get them from Jerry a month before. These are from October, November, December.
Going forward.
So,
going forward.
right, but what I'm saying is, Raymond gets them as the chair.
Yes.
We don't get his report till the following month.
Yeah, but when you get his report and you know what the council's gonna
Pull
vote on.
them out then
Pull
and
them
then.
out and copy them.
Okay,
put them
so
in
it's
the
always
packet.
gonna be a month back. is
Yeah,
my point.
it could be 3 months back if, if the
But why don't we make it easy instead of all that paperwork?
Scan it.
Why don't we just have the chairman submit the name, the address, the amount in our report? I mean, that's as simple as you can get. We don't have to.
All right, we'll figure this out.
Remember, I mean, I'm not strong against this issue, but you gotta remember the committee makes a recommendation to the council as to what the committee wants the council to do. The council's really voting on the abatement, so.
No, I understand that, but like,
But how can you vote?
you take the next one, that Stephen did. I mean, the guy's name, his address, and the amount that we issued overnight is there. You know what I'm saying?
I hear you, Councilman.
All right, well, all right, I'll figure it out.
I just think it's a lot of work.
Just scan it. I don't need more paper.
Can we go on to item number 17? Claims Committee Report. Town Council discussion and action with regard to the Claims Committee Report to be presented by Councilman Fiola.
Thank you, Mr. President. In front of all of you, you should have the March 2nd North Providence Claims Committee report. If there are no questions, please accept as presented.
Motion's been made. Do I have a second?
Se-
All those in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Item number 18, board appointments. Town Council discussion and action with regard to appointments to be made to the following boards. Zoning Board. Do you have that letter? I can't find it. Okay. I put forth the name of Lino Cambio, 86E Nipmunk Trail, North Providence, and I'll read his letter into the record. Dear council members, the intent of this letter is to inform you of my interest in serving as a board member of the Town of North Providence Zoning Board. I understand the commitment involves serving a five-year term on the board, attending and participating in board meetings, and potentially participating in other activities throughout the year. As a lifelong resident of the town and business professional, I believe my qualifications and dedication will make me an asset to the board. Please find attached my resume outlining my professional and educational undertakings. Thank you for your valuable time and consideration in reviewing my submission. Sincerely, Lino Cambio. Does anybody have any questions? Okay, I'd like to entertain a motion to accept with regret the resignation of Dennis Reel from the zoning board and appoint Lino Cambio.
So moved.
Motion's been made by Councilman Catanzaro, seconded by Councilman Warren. All those in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. B, Environmental Commission. Okay, we will be replacing Paul McElroy on this committee. And we have a letter that I'd like to read into the record. Dear council members, my name is Joseph Riccatelli. I respectfully request your consideration for appointment to the North Providence Environment Commission. I'm a lifelong North Providence resident that is very familiar with open space in town. I have worked in the Midwest as a wilderness guide, taking kids on overnight adventures and teaching them about the great outdoors. I have also been an active I've also been an active in the Boy Scouts since I was a youth. I am currently the Assistant Scoutmaster of Troop 5 and Committee Member of PAC 5. In these organizations, we support the education and preservation of natural treasures. These organizations have been active users of the town parks for camping and hiking, as well as giving back through community service. The past few winter, we have adopted several senior members in the community and assist it with their snow removal. With my passion for the outdoors, combined with the knowledge of the town and partnership with the Boy Scout and Cub Scouts, I feel I will make a valuable member of the North Providence Environmental Commission. Sincerely, Joseph Riccatelli. I'd like to entertain a motion to accept the resignation letter of Mr. McElroy and to appoint Joseph Riccatelli.
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been made by Councilwoman Catanzaro, seconded by Councilman Fiola. All those in favor?
Aye.
Item number 19, tax abatements, under 1,000. Town council discussion and action with regard to the list of tax abatements under 1,000 received from Janice Muscatelli, acting tax assessor of the Board of Tax Review, in the amount of $833.16 for real estate. I'd like to entertain a motion to abate.
So moved.
Do I have a second? Motion's been made by Councilwoman Catanzaro, seconded by Councilman Warren. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Guys have it. Tax addendas. Town council discussion and action, possible vote with regard to the list of tax addendas received from Janice Muscatelli, acting tax assessor, in the amount of $3,376.15 for real estate and $3,107.62 for motor vehicles. I'd like to entertain a motion to abate.
So moved.
Motion's been made by Councilman Catanzaro, seconded by Councilman Warren. All those in favor? Ayes have it. Item number 21, claims submitted. The Town Council discussion and action with regards to the claims received by the following: Joseph Sapola, 3 Plymouth Road, North Providence, Rhode Island; Angelo Rossi, 160 Vincent Ave, North Providence, Rhode Island; Greg Palo, 52 Jacksonia Drive, North Providence, Rhode Island; Greg, Melissa, and Melissa Brailsford, 5 Curran Brook Court, Cumberland, Rhode Island. Do I have a motion to send these to the Claims Committee?
So moved.
Do I have a second? Motion's been made by Councilman Catanzaro, seconded by Councilman Warren. All those in favor?
Aye.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'm going to go back to item number 20. I want to change my motion to grant the addendas rather than abate the addendas.
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been made by Councilman Catanzaro, seconded by Councilman Fiola. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Do I have a second? Motion's been made and seconded. Meeting adjourned.